What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack, and today we're going to be speaking all about airline stocks, baby. It's been a while since I made a video entirely dedicated to airline stocks, so it's about time we get another one. Some crazy things have happened in the worlds of airline stocks as of late, from Warren Delta selling all of his shares in airlines to the CEO of Boeing saying that he sees one of the major US airlines going bankrupt, to obviously the oil prices going negative. And a lot of people are really scared of airline stocks right now. But if you follow my channel, you'll know that my biggest position in my entire portfolio is in Delta Airlines, and I also hold a position in Southwest Airlines, and I love these airline stocks. So I want to just do an update on everything that's happened. I want to share with you what my plan going forward is with my airline stocks, if I'm going to keep buying or when I plan on buying more. It's going to be a good one, guys. I'm going to give as much insight as to why I still love airlines as possible, how long I think the recoveries could take, and everything along those lines. If you enjoyed today's video, please smash a like. It really helps me out so much you don't even understand. Subscribe if you're new around here, and drop me a comment down below with your thoughts on airlines, because I know I'm extremely optimistic about them, but there's a lot of people with different opinions. So let me know what your thoughts are down below, and if you own any airline stocks right now. But I absolutely love speaking about airline stocks, so I am genuinely very excited for today's video. Let's just get straight into the juicy stuff while we're all here. So I think it's only fair that I share with you guys my positions in the two airline stocks that I do in fact hold. So we'll go through Delta first of all. So we have Delta Airlines, and we have 20 shares at an average price of $24.38. So I've put nearly $500 into these guys, which for a portfolio of my size is very big. I am going to do a full portfolio reveal, but I've decided I'm going to do it at 5,000 subs. I just think, you know, that'll be a good video to look forward to. But anyway, I'm 20 shares deep. I'm 20% down. Today it looks like we're going up. Pre-market right now is 8.55%, which is fantastic to see, but we'll see what actually happens. The market opens in 18 minutes. And I'm in no way upset about being down 20% in these guys. I'm absolutely fine with it. And then the second stock I'm in, as I said, is Southwest Airlines. You can see I have 6 shares at an average price of $25.65. And they are down just about 7%, and pre-market they're up nearly 7ish%, just over 7%, so happy days. We'll see what happens again when the market opens. But that's where I stand. They're the only two airline stocks that I do own as of right now, and we'll speak about why I prefer these two to some of the other ones. So what I've done is I've gotten this chart up. We can see we have Delta, the grey line, Southwest, the blue line, American Airlines, the orange line, United Airlines, the purple one, and I even threw in a cheeky little Spirit Airlines there as the green one. And we can see that Delta and Southwest are actually performing the best out of these 5 stocks. It is all very similar. It's not like they're outperforming by an absolute mile, but you get the picture. They are outperforming nonetheless. And there's a few reasons for this, and I have a few articles that I really want to go through. But before we get to the goods and why I actually am interested in buying them, I want to speak about 2 things that happened this week that, you know, put airlines in a negative light and put a lot of fear into the market. And we did see some big sell-offs. We saw a couple of double-digit red days, at least temporarily. The days didn't close red, but man, they shot down. So the very first thing was Warren Buffett came out and said that the company Berkshire Hathaway sold all of their US airline stocks. Keep in mind that this man didn't hold small positions in these airlines. He had a 9 to 11% stake in each one of the 4 big airlines, and he sold everything at massive loss. The reasons he sold, essentially, he said the world is changing, which most certainly it is. I don't think anybody expects airlines to be at full capacity in the next 3-6 months, even the next year or 2. And if you know anything about Buffett, he doesn't really care how much money he loses on a stock temporarily. He will still hold it for a very long time. When he sells is when he thinks that the fundamentals have changed. And I understand where he's coming from. The fundamentals definitely have changed. I just don't think that they've changed to an extent where I feel the need to sell. And keep in mind, even going into this virus, going into this pandemic, he was bullish on airlines. He picked up some massive positions while this pandemic was going on. Only about 2.5 months ago, Berkshire deployed about $45 million to buy nearly 980,000 shares in Delta Airlines. In such a short time span, he's gone from that much money, paying an average of $46.40 a share, to selling at $20-ish. So I obviously love Warren Buffett to bits. He's my biggest inspiration out there in regard to investing, but I disagree with him on that one. I know a lot of people won't, and a lot of people will be very afraid going forwards, but I've done my own analysis. I still believe. Okay, and then the second thing that happened, we'll touch off really quickly, is when the Boeing CEO said that he sees one of the major US airlines going bankrupt. And I don't see what the problem is here. He's only actually coming out and saying what a lot of people are thinking. The reason it's getting so much traction is because of who he is, and because of the fact that he needs airlines booming to make a lot of money. But throw it back to videos I was making and everybody else was making only 2.5 months ago. We all believed that there was a very possible reality that one of these airlines could go bust, and I still do share that thesis. I fully appreciate that some airline could go bust, but this still did cause quite a move in the market. I believe that day the market went down about 10% and it finished the day down about 2.5%. I'm speaking about Delta specifically here. But this is all the more reason to be very particular in which airline companies you are willing to buy. This is why I'm only in two. I'm in Delta and I'm in Southwest, and we're going to get into the reasons why I love these two so much, especially in comparison to some of the other ones. Something else that the CEO said that I want to make note of: something will happen when September comes around. Traffic levels will not be back to 100%. Of course, they won't even be back to 25%. You know what? More than likely true. By the end of the year though, I would see that happening. Maybe by the end of the year we approach 50%. So I'm in agreement still. So there will definitely have to be adjustments that will have to be made by the airlines. Of course. I mean, it's common sense. I don't see why this guy saying this has caused such a big commotion. It is complete common sense. Planes will not fly at full capacity for a considerable amount of time until this virus is completely rid, until it's completely gone worldwide. It's not going to happen. You ever been on an airplane? You want to enforce social distancing on an airplane? You are going to have a lot of empty seats. So although I love these airline stocks and I'm buying them very heavily, even I don't really think we're going to see 50% by the end of the year. But who knows? I hope we do. I obviously hope we do, but I don't think that's realistic. But where my outlook comes from is that I do believe we will start making money again by the end of the year. And I believe that the stock price could start going up again, you know, before the end of the year. I think the stocks could start going up in the next few months. And I think in the long term, it's going to just go back to normal and new heights forever. Annual growth in global air traffic passenger demand from 2006 to 2020, it's been up every single year except for 2009 where it was down 1.2%. But aside from that, man, it has grown very, very quickly, and I will expect it to grow very, very quickly again once things are back to somewhat normal. And I will speak about when I'm going to buy airline stocks again, because now I think we're at levels where we have to get a little bit smarter. I'm not going to necessarily be buying them every single week as I have been doing so for the last month or so. I think that is a little bit silly to do at the moment, but we'll get to that towards the end of the video. So this is an article by The Motley Fool that's speaking about what airline stocks are safer to buy and what aren't quite safe to buy right now, and I agree with a lot of what they have to say. Southwest Airlines, their shares have only lost about half their value year to date, which makes the company a winner among airline stocks, and the airline has been an investor favourite due to its simple business structure and ability to make money when others can't, and Southwest famously never resorted to layoffs even following the attacks of September 11. And one other thing that has to be said is they have a fortress balance sheet at their disposal. They've also taken more of a surgical knife to its schedule rather than mass cuts that is allowing it to keep selling into this period with little demand, and the strategy should help it being one of the first airlines to see real evidence of a turnaround. So they're doing everything that they can, and in my opinion they're in a very good position right now. They're burning through 30 to 35 million a day, but they still have levers to pull, including parking additional planes if conditions grow worse. Just looking at the actions they've taken, the losses they've taken compared to some of the other airlines, and their balance sheet, I definitely do think if you do want to buy an airline stock, they're probably the safest one, in all honesty. They're definitely up there though. And then second up, these guys are speaking about Delta Airlines. So again, me and these guys, similar thought process. They're the only two airlines I'm invested in right now. They've earned a reputation as an industry innovator since emerging from bankruptcy more than a decade ago. So this does scare a lot of people, okay? They did file bankruptcy once in the past. And that's one of the big reasons that I think, you know, that if you're looking for the safest of the safest in this not very safe industry, Southwest does take the cherry. Delta aims to end the current quarter with 10 billion in liquidity, and it has billions in unencumbered assets at its disposal if needs to raise more money. And then the other thing I really like about Delta is they have the most revenue, they have the most profit, they have the most assets, and they have the biggest market cap. And that's why they are the two companies that I love the most. Really quickly, I want to mention American Airlines because I know that's a company that an awful lot of people are interested in and do speak about an awful lot. And here is the main reason I don't buy them. They lay it out absolutely perfectly in this article. It remains behind its peers in terms of revamping price and operation. It also has an industry high debt load. American expects liquidity to reach 11 billion by the end of the second quarter, and I believe it can survive, but if any major airline does succumb to bankruptcy, American is the most likely bet. I see absolutely immense growth potential with Americans, as I do for pretty much every single airline stock, but just they're scary to me. They're too scary. I don't need to invest in more than two airline stocks in my opinion, so I'm not going to touch off them. Now, when will I buy airline stocks again? And at this stage, it's particularly important to remember I'm not a financial advisor. And just because these are my plans does not necessarily mean that these should be your plans. I don't want you to copy me. I just want to give my thought process because I've been very vocal about the fact I've been buying them every single week for the last month and a half, 2 months maybe. But that is no longer true, and I will not be buying them unless I see some bigger dips. I already have relatively big positions in, relation to my portfolio, so I don't need to keep adding to them for the sake of it. Now I will only buy if the prices get to, a particularly attractive price point. Oh, and the market just opened, and we did open 10% up. What did Southwest open at? Southwest opened 8.13% up. Woohoo! My portfolio as a whole just jumped up about 4%. Woohoo! But anyway, we won't get distracted. I don't plan on buying any more shares in either of these companies until they both drop about 15%. Now, when I say that, what I actually mean is from $20 for Delta. So I probably won't buy Delta again unless they hit about $17 a share. And with Southwest, I'm going to take that from about $23. So I won't buy Southwest unless they fall somewhere between $19 and $20. Have my positions open. I'm very happy with the amount I have in these companies. I believe in them both very heavily. And I just won't invest anymore unless, it's worth my while, unless I do see a bit more of a discount. But please do remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I've had a few people ask me where I bought this as well. I actually made it myself, so you can't buy one. That's where I stand with airlines though, guys. Hopefully I was able to give you some insight into why I still do believe in them. I do fully expect, some tough times ahead. I definitely don't think the red days are done by any means. I don't think we're going to see a 100% recovery in a matter of 3 to 6 months. That's not what I see happening with these guys. What I do see, however, is an essential service that has been hit particularly hard due to unforeseen circumstances that I also believe in the long term will grow far past where they ever have before. I believe if you get into an airline stock and that airline stock does not have to file bankruptcy and you hold them for decades to come, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic long-term investment. And who knows, maybe in a few years when time starts to go really well again for these guys, when they're back to 100+% of their regular capacity, we might start getting some juicy dividends from them again. I do hope you guys did enjoy today's video though. If you did, please smash it like. Again, it helps me out so much. Subscribe if you're new down here and drop me a comment with your thoughts on airline stocks as a whole down below. And I will see you guys for tomorrow's video. Have a great day. Peace.